Cold out there, but you're nice and snug in your spacesuit. And pretty soon, you're going to go back into the module and go back to Earth. I'd like you for just a couple minutes to stay with that. And you will hear, after a few minutes, you will hear my voice again, but still stay where you are. Stay in your brain where you are. And listen to me, and then I'll say, okay. So, staying with your breath right now, but coming back here, thinking of feeling yourself back here in the sanctuary. You may hear some noises, there may be some traffic, somebody in a corner may cough. When you were standing on the moon, I pointed out to you that you had people, even there, who had your back. And this is what I hope you'll let yourself for about at least 1 minute feel, that in this sanctuary, with these people who are part of our community, you are in another place where people have your back and where you're welcome. Thank you. Please open your eyes if you wish and continue to be present here. The sermon today is one of the Soul Matters sermons that we have received and been allowed to use by the UUA and a committee of ministers, of which, by the way, our minister is one. This is called Yuri's Night, a Holiday for All Humanity. It's written by Lóre Stevens, who is a queer Mexican-American atheist woman and a UU minister, born in Texas, raised in Michigan. She has her master's in divinity from Harvard Divinity School, and she did that to become a UU minister. She serves now as the settled minister of Oak Ridge Unitarian Universalist Church in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And she enjoys playing Dungeons and Dragons, and she has 2 cats. So, Yuri's Night, a Holiday for All Humanity. Spring is finally solidly here. We did it. We survived another winter. Human cultures acknowledge spring in a bunch of different ways. But the themes are usually similar. Coming through something really difficult into something easier. But like quite a few Unitarian Universalists, I was previously a nun, spelled N-O-N-E, with no clear holiday to call my own. Everyone around me would honor something transcendent. On an annual basis, I didn't have that until I learned about Yuri's Night. Created by the United Nations as a holiday for all humanity, Yuri's Night is the anniversary of the first human spaceflight. Yuri Gagarin was an ordinary guy. The Soviets picked him for just that reason. Born to peasants, became a metal worker, kind of short, had a nice smile. If this guy could go to space, anyone could. His fellow cosmonauts in training voted him to go up first. They either really liked him or really didn't. As liftoff began, he said the Russian equivalent of "off we go," which later became a space geek catchphrase. He blasted up there in his rickety ship. It was 1961. Think about technology in 1961. We had computers, but they were mostly made of vacuum tubes and hope. The Vostok 1 spacecraft looked like a water heater, a big beige cylinder with a chrome sphere on top, but it did the job. No human had ever flown so high before. A dog, a monkey, some fruit flies, but no humans had ever exited Earth. For those of us who've lived our whole lives in the space age, that can feel easy to take for granted. Yuri Gagarin felt it was important enough to risk his life for. Yuri flew at about 17,500 miles per hour. He became the first human to orbit the Earth one full time, and he did it in about an hour and a half. Incredible. On re-entry, the spaceship actually malfunctioned a bit, shaking him violently, but he didn't panic. He ejected over Russia as planned. He'd flown through the night and back into the same day he'd come from. He'd gone into a realm of death and come back, uninjured, alive. The celebrations to mark his return were the biggest since the end of World War II, 16 years ago. He went on tour through 30 countries, and his story was published in newspapers around the world. This regular guy had become a global superhero. It feels a little funny to be giving a sermon about a Russian hero right now with what's going on. But we must remember that Russia is full of regular people like Yuri. Nations made it a how. And the Yuri's Night isn't about Russia alone. It's about humanity together. The United Nations made it a holiday and named it the International Day of Human Spaceflight. Humans from many places and eras helped each other develop the science and the technology. Today's space programs are still one of the most internationally cooperative industries, whose discoveries aid in medicine, technology, and resisting climate change here on Earth. So why don't many people know about Yuri's Night or the International Day of Human Spaceflight today? Some folks have started to think of space exploration as elitist and out of touch because the billionaires have gotten involved. I think this is backwards. The Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos of the world know that there's something important here, and they should be the absolute last people in charge of it. We can either let them have it, as we're doing now, to use for commercial gain in a rich people's lifeboat off the Titanic, or we can participate, demand the decolonization of space exploration, so that it becomes ethical, equitable, and accessible for the mutual flourishing of all life on and beyond Earth. Another reason many people are apathetic or antagonistic towards space exploration is, to a lot of folks, probably some of you, all the space stuff seems silly, the stuff of Trekkie geeks, unrealistic. I think this is because in our day-to-day lives, we aren't aware of the cosmic context. Here's what I mean by that. Besides the Milky Way, we estimate there are 100 to 200 billion other galaxies, each with 100 to 400 billion stars. There is a lot of out there. But right here, a lot of extremely particular circumstances all coincided. Conditions were just right, and life emerged. Life is something extremely special. A star, any one of those billions of stars, takes shape, burns its fuel, and dies out. But life, it can't seek out any more fuel. But life can. Life can intentionally resist entropy. We eat and we make more of ourselves. We, and by we, I mean all life on Earth, are part of this universe which is trying, as hard as it can, not to die. That is our cosmic context. Our first priority is to fix what we've broken here, to stop and reverse climate change, as the UU Ministry for Earth urges. This is especially vital for the marginalized communities who have contributed least to the problem, but are most affected by it. Yuri Gagarin himself said, "Orbiting Earth in the spaceship, I saw how beautiful our planet is. People, let us preserve and increase its beauty, not destroy it. The life that has emerged on this planet is precious." And that's exactly why space flight matters. Even if we get out of the hot water we're in now, the Earth is not eternal. If life is part of the universe which doesn't want to die, we're going to need to move eventually. Like many animals on Earth, humans are pretty smart. We're especially technical. Through the processes of nature, through evolution, collaboration, and ingenuity, we've developed the ability to go to space. I think there's a reason for that. I think it's our role among the species to steward Earth's incredible variety of life to many other places, so life can keep doing what it does best, both here and elsewhere. As Octavia Butler wrote, "The destiny of Earthseed is to take root among the stars." Amid the raging fires and cold emptiness of space, here we float, brave, curious, alive. So on Yuri's night, people all over the world celebrate. What would humanity be like if we remembered our cosmic context together, even once a year? I invite you to a holiday for all people under the stars. Throughout human existence, longer even than our history, we've been tracing our stories onto stars with just distant points of light on an inviting black canvas. We've seen pictures, stories, maps, mysteries. Go out there. Feel the night sky, how it cradles us, waits for us. Become aware of your living, breathing interdependence with all life on Earth and all that is beyond. You are inextricably part of the great wholeness of the universe, even if you forget, even if you don't care. But I invite you to care. I invite you to participate in the universe's epic cosmic quest to live. And the words of Yuri Gagarin, off we go. Now, please, standing as willing or able, we will go to the closing hymn, number 168, in the gray hymnal, one more step. That's number 168.